become in the Barcelona penalty area.
Stegen's accepting leadership. That's love rather than leadership. Just the very idea that you're on television in the stadium where Leo Messi, who you've got a poster saying, please, please give me your jersey.
And spelling his name wrong as well, saying Leo, which in Spanish means something like a bit of a mess.
Bit of a mess.
I'm not sure, a bit of a messy. I'm not sure if she did that on purpose. If she did, for a youngster, she's got a very sophisticated sense of humour indeed.
I always like to think that communication is getting your message across, and I think the smile and the dance did as much as any spelling could do. The point I think that's worth making, you mentioned Semedo and Stegen showing that a team leader respects and loves him. Semedo and Alba must offer pace today because Barcelona often get caught out with the ball over the top as they press higher and higher. And Porto is lightning fast. It isn't simply about his goals. He's exceptionally quick and exceptionally confident these days. The two fullbacks of Barca will be asked to help Piqué and Umtiti when Girona break on the counter.
Well, earlier today we saw Cristiano Ronaldo wear the captain's armband for Real Madrid. Today it's going to be Leo Messi for Barcelona. If we needed it, Graham, once again a demonstration of the top quality football available in La Liga Santander, with two of the greatest players in the world, and great to see Messi and Ronaldo captaining their sides. Ronaldo particularly earlier on today doing an excellent job, allowing Benzema to take a penalty that Ronaldo himself could have taken to score a hat-trick. He felt, no, more important for the team to gain the confidence of Benzema.
A gesture you've commentated on when very often Messi will hand a penalty to, in the past, Neymar, currently in this team, Suarez, and for similar reasons to the Benzema idea, to support a friend.
Here's the Barcelona lineup. Marc ter Stegen in goal, Semedo, Piqué, Umtiti, Jordi Alba at the back. We've got Busquets, Coutinho and Rakitic, according to the graphics department anyway, in midfield, with up front Dembélé, Leo Messi and Luis Suarez. On the bench, Jasper Sillas and Andrés Iniesta, Paulinho, Lucas Digne, Sergi Roberto, Aleix Fidel and the returning Thomas Vermaelen. That represents three changes from the side that beat Eibar 2-0 in Ipurua last weekend. Semedo in for Sergi Roberto, Coutinho for Iniesta, Dembélé for Paulinho. The referee today, Mr. Alberola Rojas, and the two captains will be greeting each other any minute now. Aleix Granell there, the Girona skipper, as Barcelona's 11 players line up for the pre-match photo. Tremendous atmosphere in the Camp Nou for this all-Catalan clash. Lining up for Girona, the Moroccan keeper Yassine Bono. At the back, Ramallo, Espinosa, Juanpe. Playing wide, Pablo Maffeo and Dai. In the engine room, Pere Pons and Aleix Granell. Porto, Borja Garcia and the 24-year-old Honduran striker Lozano. Leaves top scorer Cristiano Stuani on the bench, where he's joined by veteran keeper Gorka Iraizoz, Douglas Luiz, David Timor, Marc Muniesa, Carlos Planas and Aleix Garcia. And just there we're hearing several names in this Girona lineup and on the bench who have a past at Football Club Barcelona.
We've also seen one of their most exciting players. I think Pere Pons has proved himself that in bringing the team up from the second division last season and looking elegant and confident, that he can hold his own in this division too.
There's going to be a minute's silence before the game in memory of the member of the Ertzaintza, the Basque local police who lost his life in those terrible incidents in Bilbao last Thursday. We too will honour his memory. The crowd applauds, and now we can concentrate for the next 90 minutes on the football. Both sides playing in their first colours. Barcelona in red and blue, Girona red and white stripes. Barcelona will be attacking the goal to the right of your screens. Nervous looks on the faces of the Girona players as Luis Suarez gets the ball in play, and we're off. Semedo on the ball for Barcelona, put under pressure there. He plays it back to Gerard Piqué. Piqué returning it to Semedo. First touch for Dembélé, a clever dink over the top. Semedo onto it straight away, lifts his head to have a look who he's got to aim for, cuts it back a bit too much, and it's Alba who latches onto it. Espinosa managing to get that one away, and that was quick and direct and vertical for Barcelona, stretching Girona. Semedo just unable to make the all-important final pass.
Sympathy for him, because he did exactly the right thing. That is the classic Barca move, down the wing, the cutback. Coutinho almost onto it, but even though the move failed, it showed Semedo's learning.
Busquets bringing that one down. That's superbly sent down the left. Coutinho finding Busquets. He thinks about a shot, can't quite make his mind up. Alba was making a run, there was no way through. It's picked up by Umtiti. Leo Messi in the D of the penalty area, surrounded by red and white shirts, and finally it's Juanpi who hooks it away. Umtiti continuing the move. Coutinho a little flick on. Busquets finding Luis Suarez. Dembélé not really finding the best movement there to help him. He's on the ball now though. Returns it to Messi. Coutinho. Busquets. Coutinho couldn't really control it. Dembélé unable to get to it ahead of a die. And finally Girona get the ball away and into the Barcelona half. Samuel Umtiti, oh, he didn't manage to get it out away, and off the post into the back of the net. Girona go 1-0 up. It's an astonishing start to the game. Pablo Machín off his bench, and quite frankly, the Camp Nou is stunned by Christian Portugues, better known as Porto, on astonishingly good goal-scoring form. He makes it 1-0 with barely 2 minutes on the clock. Barcelona completely caught out there.
Simon, I thought it was an absolute guarantee that Porto would score here today. The degree to which Barcelona allow themselves to be caught heavily upfield. He is rapid, quick, but that first mistake from Barcelona is followed up by just basically a chase. Look at this, it's a chase. Umtiti gets there, there's no correspondence between Stegen and Umtiti, and that leaves Porto, who's quick, who's confident, who's in the scoring form of his life, putting in a very difficult angle. The finish is lovely, it's extra glamorous that it goes off both posts, but on a night where Barcelona have started up front looking electric, why was there no communication from Stegen to Umtiti? Yeah. Either my ball or you have a man on. Valverde grimaces, Porto points to the back of his shirt where his name is emblazoned. Fantastic by Girona, but they just did what Valverde knew they would be trying to do all night.
The move started by Sergio Busquets losing the ball, trying a little back healer, which perhaps wasn't totally necessary given what part of the pitch it took place in. And then, as you said, it seemed as though both Umtiti and Ter Stegen could easily get to that ball ahead of Porto, but they both stopped. The only person who didn't stop was Porto himself. Barcelona 1-0 down, not even 4 minutes on the clock, and that's called efficiency, because for the opening 2 minutes, I don't think Girona got to touch a ball.
They were buying themselves breathing space. There was a stage at which there were 10 men behind the ball, but both Choco and Porto believe that they can take advantage because it's 2v2. Both of the fullbacks were high up. Umtiti had actually done quite well to get that far back as Messi picks up possession.
That's fed through to Suarez. Suarez into the area, and he gets Barcelona right back into it. That's the way to respond to the shock of going 1-0 down at home within 2 minutes. 4.5 minutes on the clock. We've seen 2 goals already. The derby promises.
If the lesson for Barcelona was like, don't let Porto play in the counter-attack, The lesson for Girona was much simpler. Don't let Messi have free possession. Suarez's name is going to go on the history books, but look at the time and the space. Time and again, we see players crowding Messi. We saw a masterclass from Chelsea, and basically the red and white shirts were standing around going, see if you can pick a pass. Messi said, oh yes I can. Suarez is in the form of his life. He was never going to miss that. Girona's midfield ripped up the notes that Machin gave them and just said to Messi, we'll see if you're on form. He said, that's 1-1.
Well, it's a real shame for Girona, having done the hard bit, which is get ahead in the Camp Nou, to squander the lead before 5 minutes had even come up. What a start to the derby. And incidentally, I mean, I didn't even have time to mention how impressive Lozano's part was in the break, which led to Girona's opener. He's a man who's left Stuani on the bench. Played very few minutes, the Honduran international striker.
The golden thing is he has pace, and he showed it. It was a little bit ungainly because it was a kick and rush, but the whole idea here has been that Stuani's ability to finish, his aerial ability, crosses in, which have served him so well in other stadiums, are probably going to be less likely, and that the two rapid greyhounds up front was a matching tactic which seemed to make sense right from the start.
Gerard Piqué just on the edge of the Barca area. Well, Dembélé didn't know how to deal with that one at all. It's picked up again, sent over the top by Maffeo, and the shot in the end not too far off target from Anthony Lozano. At least he got the shot off. It ballooned over the top of the bar.
What a great phrase you used there. We're looking at the pass, we're looking at the shot, but you said Dembélé didn't know what to do with it there. And folks, he didn't do any of the basics. Whether you were looking for a trick or a control, whether you're going to return the ball back and build the move, you get your body in the way. You don't allow your opponent to come straight through onto the ball. And Dembélé still is acting like a 16-year-old.
On the ball, Borja Garcia gets the cross into the far post, nobody there. We saw some fascinating images in front of the dugout of Ernesto Valverde screaming, Usman, Usman, trying to put right the mistakes that Dembélé has already shown. Meanwhile, his Semedo bursting up the right flank.
These are basics, Simon, and he will not be allowed to start in this team until he, however clever he is with the ball, and he is, until he begins to correct the basic errors.
Coutinho putting one forward for Dembélé to chase onto. It was seen by Bono. No problems for the Moroccan keeper.
You and I, we often commentate in games and we talk about the slight decrease in flow from the Cantera at Football Club Barcelona, the La Masia upwards. There are Barca B players watching that who can't even get a sniff of first-team action, who would not have committed that basic error that we've just seen from Dembélé. Now, that sends a terrible message back down the ladder.
It certainly does. There are quite a few players out there from the Barcelona B team and youth system. Marc Muniesa on the bench for Girona. We've also got Carlos Planas, who's come on a free from Celta Vigo, also on the bench for Girona. And players like Dembélé beginning to find out how difficult it is to adapt to the Barcelona system. Fortunately for Barca, they've got Leo Messi and Luis Suarez on the playing surface, who were able to get them straight back into the game. Again, driving forward, Girona through Porto, links with Lozano. He's going to try a shot from there. Well, probably worth it. Alex Granel with the attempt, but Girona certainly having a go. That's twice they've missed the target from a distance, but at least keeping the pressure on Barcelona.
Porto's pace and confidence make it a very dangerous cocktail for Piqué and Umtiti to be facing.
It's Suarez, picks out Leo Messi. Messi gets away from Ponce, goes down on the edge of the box, free kick. It's Jonas Ramallo, I believe, who committed the foul about, what, a yard and a half outside the Girona penalty area.
There was no malicious intent, but it was so late. Yeah. It was about a century late, which tells you a little thing about Messi. You know, a decent first division player making what he thought was an attempt to get the ball, and he's a body length late in getting there, and it wasn't trying to do harm to the Argentinian.
Well, it's not by any means, you would have thought, in the ideal situation for Leo Messi, but it's Leo Messi who places the ball, and Leo Messi, I believe, who's going to have a go at this one. Piqué and Busquets have joined the Girona defensive wall. Suarez steps back, but it's Messi to take it. And that caused problems for Bono. It'll be a corner for Football Club Barcelona. That was not too far away.
Like his technique, he follows it all the way, knows what he's doing, makes sure that he thinks it's going wide, but gets a touch anyway.
Dembélé to take the resulting corner. Comes through eventually to Suarez. He finds Messi. Messi can't quite return the ball to the Uruguayan. Chance on the break. Porto trying to get away from Umtiti, brought down by Jordi Alba. Free kick.
Young referee making his Liga debut with Barcelona. Did one cup game. Moments like this, moments like the Ramalho challenge, or when we learn about the referee, certain refs in Spain would have given that as a booking, Simon. Others definitely wouldn't. And little by little, we'll learn about this youngster and what his standards are.
Ponce gives it away, and Dembélé can't control it. Comes through to a die inside to Borja Garcia. They lose it, manages to lose it somehow to Suarez. Suarez finding Messi. What a return ball from Messi. Dembélé gets it onto his left foot, and he just can't get a shot off or make up his mind. And that, quite frankly, Graham, is a player who's lost his mental concentration a little bit there, hasn't he?
The mentality isn't right. I watched him a lot at Rennes, I watched him a lot at Dortmund, and he always has the capacity to be robbed of the ball because he'll try tricks. But then nobody loses the ball more than Messi. It sounds like a sacrilege, but it's true because the great players try things. But his confidence is not good, and his thought process is slow.
Messi, what a superb ball over for Alba. He tries to chest it down to Suarez. The hands cover the eyes because he probably knows he had a gilt-edged scoring chance there.
He did himself, and we both know that he loves to score. He's a Stoichkov inspired footballer. Girona raising their hands to ask for offside is rubbish, and his idea was clever. It just more contact off the breastbone, just a further push at the ball, and it would have looked a very nice goal.
What a sprint Jordi Alba made into the box. Leo Messi, of course, absolutely aware of it. Not sure if he saw it with his third eye or his fourth, but he saw it. Messi again, Coutinho with the cross. Dembélé underneath it. Didn't get anywhere near it, but he is penalised because he got near Juanpi's head.
Do you know, I certainly don't want people to think that I'm pessimistic or cynical, but I've often spoke to footballers, Xavi included, who was booed on when he was substituting Guardiola. Was you see the ball from Messi, the idea from Dembélé to try and create more space for himself, Messi's fabulous little pass for the goal. But Xavi talked to me about the horror of the Camp Nou when you can hear them mutter. Chigrinsky, who Pep Guardiola wanted to keep, but whose confidence went because he was beginning to hear the murmurs of discontent. We look at the robbery. Umtiti doesn't know Porto's there. That was Stegen's responsibility. Even Umtiti's to sense and clear the ball, but a bad mistake. So all I mean is I worry for Dembélé that these slight murmurs we're hearing already begin to affect his confidence still more.
Porto doing well there to end up forcing Umtiti into giving away the throw. It's looking very, very switched on is Porto so far, as Machin refers to his notes. Lozano returning the ball. Dembélé doing well on that occasion in defensive duties. Juanpi back to Bernardo Espinosa. Sends it long. Dealt with by Umtiti, but he gives it away. Porto is Maffeo inside to Aleix Granel. Just knocked down by Garcia. Here's a die. Borja Garcia. Lozano. It's too much of a chase for a die. might have more pace than Gerard Piqué, but few players have got better anticipation than the Barcelona centre-half.
We've learned to admire the Girona coach, haven't we, Simon? Machin, what he's done since he took over, what his aims are, and how well drilled his players are. In the first game, he had Maffeo man-marking Messi. You can see the tactics tonight about what they're trying to do up front, but Messi, I didn't expect man-marking by Maffeo, but Messi has been given a space that is 180 degrees to the other side of Machin's plan when they played up at Montilivi. It surprises me a little bit.
Free kick for the challenge there on Dembélé. Free kick to Barcelona. That's the face of a player, Graham, who knows he has to step up, and what an opportunity he's got tonight. Alba finding Suarez, is Leo Messi. Dembélé has got Semedo outside him. Decides to cut inside. Messi to Rakitic. Now Semedo. Holding on to it, turning and finding Rakitic. This is Busquets. Rakitic. Jordi Alba out wide on the left in space. Dembélé wins a throw-in. It came off the foot of Juanpi. Semedo. Rakitic. Busquets. Coutinho. Back to Rakitic. Semedo. It's a decent cross. Very nearly came to Suarez. Instead, Espinosa cleared. Borja Garcia wins the throw for Girona.
Really interesting there. When Semedo picked up Messi, maybe 20 metres away, pointed to him to give it back to Rakitic rather than put it into the crowded box. And what we were saying there is Messi trying to explain to a novice how the Barca system works and how the patience must drag the other team about rather than getting into the box as quickly as somebody who's enthusiastic to make his mark might do.
Another throw to Girona. "17 minutes gone." You can't know, I'm sure, with Barca fans and Girona fans will be starting to chant as always just about now, and they do. Astonishing atmosphere in the Camp Nou as Lozano goes down and wins a free kick. The challenge from Semedo.
Well, talking about the atmosphere, wasn't it fantastic to see the joy and surprise on the faces of the Girona fans who made the hour journey down south? Kids, old age pensioners, people who never thought they'd see this, and then they go 1-0 up. That happiness was just hairs in the back of the neck time.
Didn't last long for them, did it?
They'll remember it, though.
Borja Garcia to take the free kick, plays it short. And there's an off-the-ball incident, so it'll be a foul given in favour of Barcelona. Suarez, such a crucial member of the Barcelona defence in dead ball situations. Going down there under the physical presence of Jonas Ramallo. Semedo. Rakitic. Umtiti. Alba inside to Busquets. First time off to Suarez. Suarez turns. Messi in the area. Chips the keeper. Brilliantly saved off the line. Absolutely superb work from Espinosa. But Suarez and Messi are on fire.
That was a version of the old Broadway musical, Anything You Can Do, I Can Do Better. Because this service from the Uruguayan, who does tend to like to be the one running into the box, was fabulous.
In comes the corner. Nobody got a head to it. It'll be a goal kick for Girona.
But just like there, you were laughing at me on Friday in the La Liga preview when I said that Suarez, who's about to repeat that chip onside Messi, is seeing the ball as big as a paycheck.
Yeah.
But I honestly believe that after the way he suffered in the first half, he's thrilling to every moment, where right now he thinks he can do anything and that it will all come off for him. And at that age, given the fact that his meniscus was such a problem, And given that Neymar left in the summer, it's been a fascinating study in the human sporting psychology at the very top level.
Well, I think if you're a player like Suarez, you just have to enjoy every minute you play alongside Leo Messi. Their understanding just seems better and better all the time. It's sent over the top, collected by Dembélé. Where's it gone? It's gone up into the highest rows of the Camp Nou, and the fans applauding him.
Yeah, listen, that's we both come from a culture which is slightly different from La Liga's culture, where they see it as a fair part of their ticket price to whistle and jeer if the player deserves it. That's getting past a guy who made an awful decision. Beautiful chip, fabulous by Bernardo, fantastic clearance, belief dominant over possibilities and geometry. But once he brings that down, the run is lovely, Rakitic's ball is lovely. When he brings it down, he should be thinking, what should I do in this, rather than what do I want to do with this chance?
Granel all the way back to Espinosa. Juanpe. Borja. Advantage Semedo. He's got to get rid of it now, and does. There's one straight back. Rakitic keeping the ball in play. Finally Dembélé.
Unlucky.
It's picked up by Granel. Wide to Pablo Maffeo. Ramallo. Lozano dropping deep. Back to Espinosa. Now Juanpe. Borja Garcia. Lovely turn to get away from Rakitic. The ball just got away from him though in turn. Here's a die. Borja Garcia. A die, keeping it going. Espinosa sends it long, and that'll be a Barcelona throw. Good pressing there from Barca when Girona were enjoying a possession of the ball, a somewhat limited one, but Barcelona eventually forcing them into the error. Alba takes it. Here's Suarez. Superb from Suarez there. Messi stays on his feet. Play on, says the referee. Comes back to Messi. Outside him, Dembélé. Dembélé twists and turns, gets a cross in. And it very nearly fell to Coutinho. Instead it comes to Alba. Here's Coutinho. Oh, he quite likes it from here. He thought about a shot. Instead, lays it back for Dembélé. Dembélé's cross is going to be awkward. Suarez goes down. Bono dealt with it well in the end. And there's one thing to be said, I think, for Ousmane Dembélé. He's playing with Leo Messi. Messi's going to give the ball to him in a brilliant situation again and again and again. It's down to him to deal with it correctly. That wasn't a bad cross.
No, listen, Simon, we both know that this fella has extraordinary talent. It's really good graphic to show that everybody's positioning and how difficult that angle is. That isn't a simple finish at that pace. The normal pace, I mean, rather than beautifully graphically slowed down pace.
And here's the Suarez goal. As you said, Graham, you just knew he wasn't going to miss that.
It was never.
The keeper did well.
Yeah, it was. But
did everything right.
You said Messi will keep giving Dembélé the ball. I couldn't agree more. The guy whose choices he must not Dembélé tried to mimic Messi's choices, because Dembélé is talented, but he's not a genius and he's not experienced. The guy from whom he can learn is Suarez.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to play identically, but he wants to make the same percentage of football intelligent choices.
Leo Messi there, getting the crowd in the Camp Nou on their feet once again. In the end, he loses out. Lozano doing well there. Here's Ramallo. Very nearly having that one stolen off his toes by Philippe Coutinho. There's a die. It's inside Semedo. Seeing the acres of space available there for Maffeo. Maffeo twisting and turning. Alba doing well to get the cross into the far post, where Semedo leaps to head clear. Dembélé helping out. The ball kept in play. Here's Juanpe. They could be in trouble here if Barca can make a quick transition. And Messi coming up against Ramallo on 2 occasions. Semedo inside to Ivan Rakitic. Suarez. Rakitic again. Gerard Piqué. Rakitic to Semedo. Rakitic again. Well, you made the point, Graham, about Barcelona's patient approach, waiting to pull their rival out of position, and this is a great example of it as Suarez picks this one up in the box, tries the shot, gets the rebound after a good save from Bono, who couldn't hold on to it. It falls to Busquets. Coutinho, his shot blocked by Ramallo, and finally Maffeo hooks the ball away and into the relative safety of the Barca half.
Can I mention one of your favourite films, Simon, in Double Jeopardy? And the Double Jeopardy for novices at the Camp Nou is that every other team teaches you put the ball into the dangerous area as quickly as you can, particularly if you're close. And the other jeopardy is, as the ball's pumped forward, is that new guys want to impress, and often they want to over-impress. So for Semedo, for Coutinho and for Dembele, they have to watch, and it's not the same in training, they have to watch matches when they're not involved and understand the patience and how many times you revolve the movement until a gap appears.
Nice combination between Dembele and Messi. They couldn't make the return ball to Messi. Girona keep control of things until it came to Gerard Piqué. Here's Umtiti, now Rakitic. Sees Messi in a bit of space. He lays it off to Busquets, gets the return ball. Still Messi, just getting away from Pere Pons, or trying to. And also from Lozano, does brilliantly to find Coutinho. As a commentator, you find yourself laughing all the time when you're watching Leo Messi on the ball.
Because however long we've been watching him, you do it a lot with Busquets too, because no matter how many hundreds of games you commentated on, you still see things which make your jaw drop and gradually just go, well as chronicle this, I'm going to enjoy it.
There's Dembele on the ball. Doing well under pressure from Borja Garcia. He finds Messi. Rakitic. Semedo to Dembele again. Busquets. Coutinho. Still Coutinho. Rakitic. Busquets gives it away. Messi nearly wins it back. And finally, it's Adai who at least achieves some temporary respite as the ball goes through to Ter Stegen.
He's been one of their key performers. That cross-field pass about 5 minutes ago indicates why he's got such a big new contract. One of the highest performers in a season when most of these guys are doing things that they didn't know they were capable of.
Borja Garcia trying to get away from the attentions of Semedo. In the end, he can't. Dembele on the ball, driving to the box, gives it to Messi. That's the right decision. Messi's shot rising above the bar. But I think over the last few minutes, Graham, we've seen Dembele with a little bit more of an idea of what you're supposed to do. And to keep it short and simple, what you're supposed to do is give the ball to Messi.
He definitely did, and applause to him for that. But here's the guy who gives the wrong decision, because Messi can slip Coutinho right in. And I think Messi's allowed to make just about as many wrong decisions as he wants to. Suarez is going to be saved by Bono. Good positioning. They need the keeper to be excellent. The pressure will mount tonight.
Well, with 28 minutes on the clock, the score's still 1-1. It's been like that since the 4th minute when Barcelona equalised. I mean, I guess we could say that for Girona, the best moment of the game has been the first minute or the second minute when they went 1-0 up. Haven't seen too much at the ball over the last 10 or 15. Here's Suarez. It came to Ramallo. I didn't know too much about it, but he gets out of the situation superbly well. Porto dispossessed by Jordi Alba. Barcelona on the ball again.
I totally buy your possession analysis, but when you were talking about how much Girona have meant to us this season, how brilliant it's been to see.
Here's Suarez, knocks it down for Leo Messi. Leo couldn't quite find the time to shoot, but he does now. It's 2-1 to Barcelona. Leo Messi. It looked like the moment had gone. Brilliant work from Suarez as that long ball came over the top. Gets it down at Messi's feet. Messi seemed to have lost the opportunity, but it's a brave man who says that Leo Messi's missed an opportunity. Ball in the back of the net. 2-1 to Barcelona. The Camp Nou chanting Messi, Messi, Messi once again. And the look on some of those Girona players' faces tells a story, because it's like saying, what are we supposed to do against these guys?
I think they must also be saying, how did that happen, Simon? Because when the chance is originally there and you expect him to bury it and then he does not, there is a moment where the one thing you cannot allow is for him to cut across you onto his left. There are two players there and both of them stand off. And by standing off, yes, they're only 3-4 feet away from him, but this moment here is when they have to not allow him onto his left, at which point Bono doesn't look great in his touch to it because it looks weak, but they're too respectful, and that's just awful. Have they ever seen him play before, Simon?
I'll tell you what, one of the astonishing things about this man, Leo Messi, if he'd been a schoolboy, a left-footed schoolboy, his coach would have been screaming at him, shoot it, hit it with your right, you've got an option on goal. He doesn't do it. He goes through the whole manoeuvre to get the ball onto his left foot, which means getting beyond 3 or 4 players, but still puts it away. So he's quite entitled to turn around to the touchline coach and say, what do you want?
There are no rules.
Barcelona, half an hour gone, 2-1 up. Leo Messi with another goal, the top scorer of La Liga Santander. At the top of my head, I think that's 21 goals for Messi already this season. Suarez controls that, sends another one over the top, this time looking for Jordi Alba. It's dealt with by the defence. And bursting forward, Ramallo. He finds Aleix Granel. Sending one for Porto to chase. He's so dangerous. Oh, he could have had a shot, surely, then, instead of trying the pass. Making the run into the box, Lozano, but he was never going to connect with him. There's a determination about Porto, though, isn't there?
It's a demonstration of maturity and confidence. It's definitely the riskier one. The shot is on. A season ago, Porto would not have made that choice. He wouldn't have taken that much of a risk. And then one thing before Messi robbed you of the opportunity of saying it, that I think that even though they've come under pressure, as you pointed out, for the last 20-25 minutes, the experience we've seen them gaining in the 2-2 draw with Atleti, the defeat of Real Madrid, is composure, even in extremis, a self-belief, a belief in the team. And I thought, apart from having made the mistake for the 2-1 goal, when they've had the ball, generally they've used it well. They've looked like a mature team, and a team that is not intimidated by the evident fact that Suarez and Messi are on form tonight.
It's Suarez who's dropped back to collect that one. He was surrounded by 3 red and white shirts. He's lost out. This is Lozano. Borja Garcia. Pons back to Espinosa. Being left alone a little bit as he plays wide to Ramallo. Espinosa again. There's Pere Pons. Back to the keeper, Yassine Bono, who puts it into touch. Pablo Machin applauding, trying to push his players a little bit to get them to realise they're still in this game. It's a good situation, given what it could have been with 33 minutes on the clock. And they absolutely mustn't give up hope. Still just the 1 goal in it as Samuel Umtiti playing this one out. Alba inside to Coutinho, back to Umtiti. Ter Stegen.
It's nice pressing. They want him to kick it long. Messi comes deep, he's marked.
Wow, that is typical Suarez. Has he got the pace? Once again, Bono very, very aware of the danger and sent it sky high where Gerard Piqué meets it, not too far outside his own area. Rakitic. Now Messi. Here's Coutinho. Suarez. Oh, lovely play from Suarez. Coutinho just losing out. It's given away. to Dembélé. Semedo calling for it is Dembélé. Back to Rakitic. Busquets, first time on to Coutinho. Coutinho very nearly finding Suarez, who goes down. And stays down, holding the thigh. It's a free kick to Barcelona, and a somewhat dangerous one.
Alvaro Rojas has impressed me so far, particularly with one or two of his advantage decisions, but also his positioning. That's twice now, really big moments. He's been in exactly the right spot. Saw that clearly. It was a free kick. Quite enjoying this young man's style. He's not the main protagonist. That's always the players. But the support cast need to be able to step onto the big stage and know the lines. Thus far, he has.
Once again, two Barca players in the Girona defensive wall as Leo Messi laces or ties the lace on his left boot. It might well be coming into contact with the ball any moment now. Bono satisfied with the positioning of the wall. The rhythmic slow hand clap from the fans. Luis Suarez can stand over the ball all he likes. Everybody here knows who's going to be taking this. Messi with the steely glare. Up he steps. Drives it low under the wall, around the wall, into the back of the net. That is like playing Subbuteo table football almost, isn't it? It's absolute genius from Leo Messi.
You used that lovely phrase. You admitted to the world that the Barca players' skills and imagination sometimes make you chuckle or laugh. His face as I mean, I lose count now. 500 goals, 600 goals. But his face, he's laughing at a piece of impishness that's come off. He's obviously studied that the wall jumps. Because of the positioning of Bono, if he beats the wall here at all, it's an old... The first time I ever saw that was a Ronaldinho free kick against Real Sociedad in this very stadium. And I hadn't seen the idea about a daisy cutter.
I think I saw Rivaldo do it.
Well, there's a link. Yeah. We're talking about South American geniuses between the three that we're talking about. Wow. He obviously knew exactly what was happening. But that picture, we see sometimes rabia, they say here, fury, the adrenaline of a goal scorer all over Messi's face. That's just pure, like, my impish trick came off like a little boy.
I feel a little bit for Yassine Bono, the Moroccan keeper of Girona. I'm not sure it didn't take the slightest of deflections as it went under the wall, but either way, the genius of Leo Messi. He really is the entertainer, and what a privilege it is to watch him week in, week out in La Liga Santander. 3-1 to Barcelona, and I mean, for Girona, what can you do? No. They've done everything right, I think, as you said, but what can you do? The difference in sheer class and quality is so huge that even without making mistakes, they find themselves 3-0 down with barely 37 minutes on the clock.
This is one of those nights where he wants to be involved all the time, when everything he's done has been right. And I'm not inside his head, but that's a good ball into the box. Greeted by Lozano. Ter Stegen couldn't hold it. Did well to get down and get it away. Semedo gives it away. Adai whips the ball back in. Umtiti getting a foot to it. It's collected by Semedo. Semedo finding Messi. And that was absolutely crucial from Pere Pons. Garcia. There's a chase for Porto. He can't get to it. Gerard Piqué protecting that one. He's got a hold of the shirt and shorts of Porto. Sends it down the line, keeps it in play. It's in the possession of Aleix Granel. Ponce back to Juanpe. Now Espinosa. Aleix Granel very nearly dispossessed by Semedo, and a free kick given, I think probably for the challenge by Semedo, or maybe the following one from Dembélé. This will give us, well, I thought it would give us a chance to look at Choco's header again. But I'll tell you, the guy I feel sorry for, who'll be cursing on the bench, is Stuani. That was his calling card moment. And Choco Lozano did well. So did Ter Stegen with hard hands to push the ball right. But Stuani will be sitting there. I'd have scored that for sure.
Borja Garcia sees the arrival there of Maffeo, and just if we needed reminding, Jordi Alba's also a very, very excellent player in his position.
Did you see there, Simon? He took a look over his shoulder. He knew that there's Stegen's hard hands, making sure that this goes wide. That's great technique. Not punched right back out in front for a striker to snaffle.
Corner for Girona, their first of the half, into the last 5 minutes of this opening period. It's going to be Aleix Granell to take it. Espinosa's gone into the box. Finally finding the header. Borja Garcia, punch clear by Ter Stegen. It falls to Granell. He's got a shooting chance here. Not too far away, well worth the effort. Goal kick to Football Club Barcelona. And Pablo Machin busy making notes. But as you can see,
lovely
wasn't
idea.
Too far away.
Right idea, decent execution. And you saw Ter Stegen, once he'd given up on getting there, just still looking to check this. This hasn't deceived me, has it?
Throw into Barcelona, which Nelson Semedo will take. Leo Messi offering support. Semedo. Gerard Piqué. Back to Marc-Andre Ter Stegen. Busquets to Samuel Umtiti. Umtiti finding Coutinho, gets the return ball. Busquets telling him where to send it, and he sends it back to Ter Stegen. Semedo, just too firm for Messi. Good work from Borja. Granell keeps it going, and that's a poor decision. I think they had options there.
Just awful by Granell. The blood still surging from the previous idea. He didn't have the power behind it. There were chances to build the move again. Totally agree with you.
Piqué clears. Coutinho showing strength and determination there to find a way to pass it to Busquets, who in turn finds Dembele. Good run from him. Links up with Leo Messi. Suarez was making a run. Messi tried to feed it through to him. That one came off Rakitic. Borja Garcia. Intelligent football from him. Plays it down the right to Pablo Maffeo. Ponce, there's one for Maffeo to chase. Not too many people as quick as Jordi Alba. I haven't seen Billy Whiz live, but I'm sure Jordi Alba would give him a decent race for his money. And that'll be a throw to Football Club Barcelona. Well done there by Philippe Coutinho. And, well, you can see the look on the face of Maffeo there. That was superb from Suarez. Naughty boy, putting it on his favoured foot. Brilliant angle of the goal there.
They've been a competitive side tonight. We've talked about the velvet football by the front too, but when we heard Valverde saying this is a 9-point week, you know, Eibar, this game mean that it's vital for them to win these tough little games where if you doze off you can lose points. Atleti are coming up soon.
Oh, here's Messi striding forward. He leaves it for the arrival of Coutinho, cuts it back for Suarez. That is sheer magnificence from Football Club Barcelona, who make it 4-1 before the half-time break. No wonder they're throwing confetti in the Camp Nou.
Absolutely fabulous, and a lovely moment for the Brazilian, because he's had a discreet first half where he's attempted to have protagonism, attempted to show his skills, but he's been all along attempting to fit into the team style, to show that he's learned already, to show the coach that he deserves a full 90 minutes, which is vital to get under your belt. So his involvement here is the fabulous interplay at a speed that Girona can't calculate, can't keep up with, and he's looking. He knows already, Coutinho knows that he can finish here. and he makes what we've been talking about, good decisions. That ball means that this shot will probably go in the net, but he knows Suarez is there. He takes the right percentage decision, the right team decision, and both Suarez and Messi will give that back to him in situations where they are thinking, do I score or do I feed Coutinho? Because it's a mutual appreciation society. Smashing by the Brazilian.
I'm sure they'll give it back to him in spades. And first signs, I think, we're seeing of Coutinho really starting to understand these two. As Ter Stegen comes off his line to clear.
And how dangerous is that phrase you've just used for every team around Europe?
Yeah.
If that were to happen, boy, just look out.
The whistle goes for half-time. What a first-half performance it's been from Football Club Barcelona, and it's almost hard to remember now that before 2 minutes had come up on the clock, Girona had gone 1-0 up. We just saw Lozano there leaving the pitch, looking as though he just withstood a hurricane, which to a certain extent he and the other Girona players have.
It tells you something about the scoreline, that you can respect the performance of Ade, of Porto, of Choco Lozano, of Granay, of Maffeo, and there are very few areas where you put a magnifying glass on Machin's team and say that's a definite error. Giving this free kick away was one, but the execution is cheeky, impish, clever, and killed the game. But Barcelona are winning this because they've showed a power play. They've showed the type of behaviour that has made